wanted to offer this little holiday mini class for parents and caregivers because I know that the holidays can be especially challenging. Kids are out of school, pressure is high to get so many things done. And I wanted to offer some ideas about how you can have more joy and more ease during the holiday season through connection with nature.
We're going to begin with an activity that allows us to be present in this moment. It's a way to both acknowledge the thoughts that want to pull our attention away from right here and right now, and also it gives those thoughts a place to wait their turn.
You can pause the video and write that list. Now, take that list, fold it in half so that you cannot see it, and physically and mentally set it aside. I always love to begin any gathering with gratitude. I find gratitude to be incredibly grounding. It grounds me into the present moment, which is where I want to be with you. I encourage you to think about something that you are feeling grateful for, something in this moment. And if you are having a challenging moment, find gratitude that is connected to whatever you're finding challenging.
Let's say your kids are having an argument. Not only is the volume of their disagreement distracting, if you slip into matching their energy, it can have you dysregulated, bringing up feelings of frustration, guilt, and self judgment, just to name a few. And yet, there are still some things to be grateful for about this situation. First of all, they feel safe enough to express their emotions. That's wonderful. Next, they're sharing their needs openly. This is open communication. That's great. And also, the fact that they're communicating means there's the opportunity for them to come to a resolution, which would not exist if they were, let's say, ignoring each other, had stomped off, and were not engaging. By leaning into gratitude, it can ground and help you calm so that you can then show up and co regulate with them.
When folks registered for this mini class, in the registration, I asked people to list the pressures they were feeling around the holidays. And I will say that although, there were differences, and I may speak to some of the specific pressures, the overarching theme regarding those pressures was expectations. That's the biggest pressure that I saw revealed in what people shared. And we're talking about expectations of self as well as other people's expectations of us. Whether we are talking about creating the perfect holiday, and when I say perfect, I mean we've gotten all the gifts for all of the people. We've had calm and joyful moments as a family. We've done all the things on the list. The house is clean and perfect, all of the food is made, and it's a Hallmark movie. It's not actually reality. And then, of course, if we're talking about expectations of others, it could be anything from, you know, the grandparents getting to watch the grandkids open their gifts so that they can see how they experience it, that moment. Again, capturing that in its perfection. It's something out of a holiday commercial. It's not real. And I'm not saying that any of these things, or maybe even all of them, I don't know, can't be achieved. But it's important to recognize that the expectations alone will stymie and stunt you. And so let's make another list. Write down all the expectations, whether it's the expectations you're having of yourself or expectations that you know or think others have of you. Write it all down. Go ahead and pause the video to do that. And now, once again, please take that list and fold it in half and physically, mentally set it aside. Now, what I want to suggest to you so that you can have more ease in your holidays, it's not radical, it's not even new. I want to encourage you to slow down, which is what these two practices I've just had you engage in will do. I want to encourage you to shift your perspective from the perfection that we conceive mostly through media to what is possible and to simplify. Again, these are not radical or new concepts, but I'm going to give you some ways to potentially engage with them, with these concepts. And the phrase that I want you to hold on to hopefully carry you through is very simple. And you can come back to it all the time. Ease in. I'm talking about you having ease through the holidays. So hopefully that will be easy to remember. Ease in. Now let's talk about the first part, the EAS of ease. Extract anxiety and stress. Extract anxiety and stress. Think about it like if you are a Harry Potter fan, when Dumbledore uses his pensieve and he extracts the thoughts from his mind and sets them aside. Whether it's a list of to-dos or a list of expectations, they're not going anywhere, right? You've got them there if you need to re-engage with them or when you need to re-engage with them. But for this moment in time, whatever moment that is, whatever moment you choose to engage in this activity, you are setting them aside so that you can be in that moment. Extract anxiety and stress. Now, the E, the last E of ease, goes with the I and the N. Ease in. So the full phrase is extract anxiety and stress. You're not going to be surprised by this since it's coming from me. Engage in nature. So that is the encouragement, the directive, the tool. ease in, extract anxiety and stress, engage in nature. So you make your list. You make your list of your overwhelming to-dos. You make your list of whatever the expectations that are, niggling at you right then and there, and you set it aside. And I want to encourage you to do this at least once a day. Now, this is not to give you another thing to do. This is a tool. You know, whether you are doing it as you're headed out the door to go run errands, or whether you're doing it before you're going to go outside and play with the kids. Once a day, with intention, make this list and move outdoors. Move outdoors. Again, it could be on your way to the store. You are in nature as soon as you walk out the door. It doesn't have to be hours and hours of uninterrupted, child-led, immersive play. It can be. And if you have time and space for that, by all means, do that as often as possible. But for whatever amount of time you have, and let whatever amount of time you have be enough. And I want to encourage you to include your kids in this practice. This may be a more meaningful activity for older kids. However, even for the littles, if you are suggesting that whether it's to go to the store or whether it is to just go out and play, or any number of reasons why you might be going outdoors, you can introduce this idea to them, this idea of setting it aside. Now, what you consider anxiety and stress is not going to look the same as what they are feeling anxiety and stress over, but that doesn't mean that theirs is any less meaningful or impactful to them. And so you can tell them what you're doing. I'm writing down the things that are making me feel frustrated or feel anxious or feel like I can't do it all. There are things that I want to do and I have to do, but I can't do it all right now. So I'm writing a list and I'm going to set it aside. And you can invite them, if they are not writing yet, if they are little, then you can ask them what they want to put on the list. What do they want to set aside for now that they can come back to later so that they can go outside or so that they can go to the next thing? This can be a transition tool. And for the older kids, again, it's this opportunity to set aside what is weighing you down so that you can go and be present outside. Now, in terms of being present outside, I want to encourage you to mark the time. So even if you are engaging in hours of child-led, unstructured play, let there be some marking of the moment. So maybe it's a nature treasure that is found. Maybe it's a moment that like a story that you share later on or at some other point in the day where you share what you noticed, something you noticed in nature. Even better if it was something that you noticed together. For example, if you saw a hawk fly overhead and you all got to share that moment. But it could be something that you experienced personally, and then you invite your child to share something that they experienced. And you are marking this moment. Again, it's sort of in this instance, you're recalling, but while you are in the doing of the thing while you are outside. And again, even if it is just going from the house to the car or the car to the store, if you're outside, you're in nature and you have an opportunity to meaningfully engage. And when you do that, it brings you into the present moment. And being in the present moment is where the greatest sense of ease is. So, again, ease in. Extract anxiety and stress by engaging in nature. Write it down. Invite your children into that process. Set it aside. Go and be in nature meaningfully for 2 minutes or 2 hours. Be present in that space, in nature. Notice something and engage senses. It doesn't have to be something that you see, it could be something you smell, something you touch, something you taste. Engage your senses in the present moment, in nature, and be in that joy. And the more of those moments that you can rack up throughout this hectic time, the more ease you will feel. And marking those moments, marking them with something physical or through a shared story, that recall will really help rekindle the sense of ease. It will bring you back to it. So that is my offering to you. And the key concept, if I haven't belabored the point already, is to be present. That is the present. And this is the season of presence. See what I did there? I wish you a beautiful holiday season. And I hope that you will always find your joy and your grounding in nature.